welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Mand. So I feel like I haven't done one of these in quite some time, like as in a monthly wrap up. I know I'm a little bit late doing this, but it's just been absolutely hectic. If most of you don't know, some of you might know, all of you might know, but my birthday was in February, and February sometimes can be a busy month for me, so I don't always think of recording these wrap-ups in time. And then having, like, we'd say, the decks that I'm working with in March, I never seem to have those in time. But before we get into the video, if you love all things tarot and oracle card related, between just flip throughs, deck pairings, all that kind of stuff, spirituality, witchy, arts and crafts, and just a mix mash of all that kind of witchy spiritual goodness, then do hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you part of the family here. Do we fumble over our words here? Yeah, I do all the time. But hit the bell so you'll be notified I upload every Monday and Friday. And yeah, look, hit the bell, hit the like button, feel free to share, and let's get into the video. I'm going to share some decks, books, what I've been doing in my art grimoire, if you want to call that, some crystals I've been working with, all that kind of stuff. So grab a snack, grab a drink. I'm hoping this won't be too long. I don't want to take up too much of your time either. So without further ado, I'll make sure everything is kind of like time stamped, so at least you can skip to the parts that you want to see. And yeah, let me know in the comments below, what decks did you work with, what books did you read? I want to know everything. I read 2 books this February, and you will see why. I'm a fast reader when I need to be, but then I also like to immerse myself in books as well. Like, I like to take my time. I don't have a reading goal. I don't like the idea of rushing through 100 books and only remembering 10. To me, that just seems so pointless. To me, reading is all about like enjoying the story and immersing yourself in it. In my mind's eye, like, I see it as a complete movie, and I'm part of that movie, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I like to take my time when reading. But the book, and you will see why, that took me, like the good majority of February, and I think some of January as well, is House of Flame and Shadow. This is the 3rd book in Crescent City novel. This is so big I can't even fit it in here. This is a chunky book. It's over 800 pages. Is it 800 pages? You would think I would know. Sorry, don't read it just so you don't have a spoiler. Yeah, 834. I don't want anybody, especially if you haven't read it yet, you know, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So this is obviously no spoilers. I have mixed feelings about this. I have a lot of mixed feelings there. I'm assuming a lot of you would have read it by now, but if not, again, I'll try not to leave any spoilers in it. I hate when people ruin books like that. But I enjoyed it, but I really don't think 800 pages was genuinely necessary. While I enjoyed the whole process and where things were going, I can see where some people, like especially on TikTok, a lot of people are voicing their different opinions on the book and whatnot. I can see where they're coming from with certain things. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I can see how, like, their feelings towards certain things that like came up in the book, or why certain things were drawn out. I understand. I too was kind of like, come on, can we get a little bit more quicker to the point? I love Sarah J Maas's books. I still need to read the Throne of Glass series. Like, honestly, I need to cop on. I need to go read it. I don't know, am I mentally prepared for it? Plus, I only have like the first 3, so I have, the only one I know is Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and then the next one after that, but I think it's actually Throne of Glass, the next one, and then yeah, anyway, so I want to get the rest of them so at least I don't have to wait. But I enjoyed it. I still personally think I'd like a star rating, I don't know, I give it a 5 anyway, solely because I love this series. But I do see where people are coming from when it comes to this book. Do I think it was necessary for 800 pages? Probably not. But I love all the characters. The only thing I have to say is I definitely probably will need to reread the whole series to fully grasp, because the world building is absolutely immensely huge in this. Sometimes it was hard for me to visualize what it was that she was trying to portray here, but that was down to me. I don't think that's down to the writer personally. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but it took me a really long time to try and get through. And to be honest, like, this is a chunky book, and I have an old Kindle, so I don't even know if I can download books on it anymore. So I don't know, is it worth getting a Kindle to read chunkier books like this? I'm not really sure. Anyway, I've talked enough about this book. And then I always like to do one fiction and one non-fiction, and the one that I read was Make It Happen, Manifest the Life of Your Dreams by Jordana Levin, or Levin, whichever way you want to say it. The spine is cracked, you guys. I cracked the spine. Who even am I? I'm like sorely disappointed with myself. But anyway, so it's all about manifestation, but it's a little bit more than that. I have totally tabbed this. I have highlighted. I have written notes inside it. I really immersed myself in this. There's a lot of exercises that can be done. Some of it I agreed with, others I didn't. I enjoyed it. I would recommend actually this as a starting book for anybody who wants to get into manifestation. I really do feel like she touches upon a lot of things that older manifestation books wouldn't touch upon. The different, like, it's not just the law of attraction. There is so many more to just law of attraction. There's law of rhythm. There's law of, oh, what's the other one? I can't think of them all anyway, but of course I can't. Yeah, because you have actions, and then like she has this whole manifestation equation, and so like thoughts, feelings, actions and faith equal successful manifestation, which I think are super important, because people think, not everyone, but you know, sometimes it's just like, if I think positive enough, these things will happen, or if I feel it enough and think about it enough. But if you're not taking the action and you're not having faith in what you're doing, then it just seems absolutely completely pointless. So I like the way she has laid out the book. It's very digestible, it's very easy. It just took me a long time to read this, because I like to take my time, process the information, but I'm also reading a fiction at the same time. So again, I try and read 2 books a month, if at all possible. If I read more, great. If not, it's not a big deal, but I do like to take my time when it comes to like spiritual books like that, witchy books, whatever you want to say. But yeah, I like the way she touches upon crystals and essential oils and even tarot cards. So she's really covered everything. So from you being very practical to sciencey to maybe psychology to witchy woo-woo, it really does cover it all. I highly recommend it anyway. I actually painted a jar. I didn't do a whole pile of art, but I'm thoroughly impressed at how this turned out. I'm not sure about the little white dots, but I can just scrape them off if I want to. But I was just playing around, and I kind of like how it turned out. So what am I going to use it for? I don't know. I haven't decided, but it looks cute. So actually, might as well just talk about art for a minute. So as most of you know, one second, let me move you out a small bit. I make my own journals. I like making my own journals. I think it's something very therapeutic about putting paper and glue and all that kind of stuff together. But I know I must do actually a whole walkthrough of this if you guys want to see it. But as we know, Brigid's Day came up, and so I did a whole like in bulk spread. I got these offline. These aren't mine, and I'm only solely using them for my journal. And I put stickers, if I can see. So I did an in bulk altar in a cup. I still have that up on my altar, and that was from an Instagram post. I wrote that down, and then I did like a picture. No, well, I didn't. This isn't my picture. I took this off like Pinterest or something. So I'm not sure who the creator is, but again, I do want to be 100% transparent. It is not my picture. I'm just using it for my journal, and that's it. But I just wanted to showcase that here. And then I put like all these little leaves around. And then a little bit about Brigid. I did some watercolor. I'm trying to play around with it. And then St. Brigid's Blessing. And then I have like this little flip out, a bit more information. And then I have, just see the flip out, about St. Brigid. And then I have a few bits here, like I have a smaller version of that in bulk card, and then I can't remember the creator of this, but I thought this was so pretty, so I just printed it to pop it into my own journal. And there again, these are all just for my journal. This is my own personal journal, so they're not for like sale or anything like that. And then I had this in like a colouring book, and I actually painted it with watercolours, and I have to fill this in yet, but I kind of like how this turned out. So yeah, and then that is a picture of one of the roses that Jamie got me for Valentine's Day that I printed out, and I just wrote, "The beauty of a flower can inspire many, don't be afraid to be different." That just popped into my head when I was looking at it, so I wrote it down. My writing isn't the best, and then I was playing around with watercolours. Again, I'm not overly great at it, but then again, the paper isn't the best, so I just like having fun with it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of this, is to have fun creating it and kind of seasonally create with that. That I worked with. I need to start writing down because I forget. I know you guys have seen this a good chunk of time. I do want to show two that I got. If you've seen what I got for my birthday, then you would have seen these already, but I wanted to show these anyway. I got to go to my favourite holistic shop in Galway. It's Amber. Highly recommend if you're in Galway. Please go check it out. They're amazing, and the staff there are just so nice. But it was Jamie that actually spotted this one. This is Rhodonite. And he'd put it back because I was like, oh, that's really nice, you know, it's lovely. And I couldn't. I was like, yeah, gimme. I want to pick it up, and I feel like this looks so beautiful. I mean, look at the inclusions. It's so pretty. So no, I haven't worked with it yet. It's been charging in my amethyst sphere. And then I love this. I have a lot of pieces of labradorite. It's another favorite of mine. It can be a difficult one to get the flash, but I love the way, do you see the flashes are like little lines on this one? And it's like a semicircle, but there is a flash in the back of this as well. Look at that. So it's like raw and polished at the same time. And I think that's so interesting. I couldn't leave it behind me. I was like, no, I need to have this. I need to bring this home with me. But there is a flash in it as well, because there was another one that was like super flashy, but I just went with this one. I try not to go overboard. I can't get the flash here for you. Oh, there, you can kind of see it. Anyway, you get the idea. So these are like two of my favourites that I picked up in February for sure. But the crystals that I've been personally working with is lepidolite. I've really been enjoying working with this, especially because I've been feeling quite anxious and just, I don't know, an overall kind of like overwhelming feeling. And this is like such a soothing crystal, to be honest. It's such a soothing crystal, and it looks a little bit like the night sky. Tiny bit, like we'd say like that purpley galaxy. That's it, not even night sky, the galaxy. So that's one that I've been working with. And then I've also been working with my strawberry quartz skull. This is Berry. And I love Berry because Berry has like a little flash on the top of her head somewhere that she's kind of shy to show now, but that's okay. But I love this. This is heavy. This is so heavy. But yeah, this is great for like your heart center. So again, when I'm feeling anxious and stuff like that, sometimes I can feel it very much in my heart. So I was working with her. And of course, my trusty best friend who I've had for a really long time. Oh my gosh, I have this piece many years now, I think, is my amethyst. It's one of the first biggest pieces I was ever gifted. Jamie is kind of the one that always picks out the most beautiful crystals. And I love it because it looks like an eye, and I pretty much use this for my third eye, but I love this amethyst with my whole being, honestly. No, camera, you gotta focus on her because she's too pretty not to focus on. And this is one that I will always use for readings when I'm reading for others. I love the deep purple, the light purple, the little bit of raw, and then of course what looks like an eye. It's just, honestly, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorite pieces. And I swear, when, you know, people say, oh, when they break, that means they're done with you. This crystal is never going to be done with me. Okay? It's just not happening. So these are the crystals that I worked with, and these are I just had to show them because they're part of my fabric. And like, look at that. Come on, focus. Let's not do this today. I am not doing this today. Oh, sometimes technology. Anyway, let's get into the deck pairings that I worked with. Right, I started working with my Brigid Oracle. So I got this for Christmas. Well, I was gifted it. Sorry, I didn't buy it. I was gifted it. With the, what is it? Tarot of the Witch's Garden. Or tarot deck. Jeez. I need more coffee. I really enjoyed this pairing. Let me show you some of the cards while I'm chatting. Now, artwork style, do they work? No, not really. Not really. But as for a tarot and an oracle card message of the day, I found these worked really well. Let me zoom you in a small bit. I want you to be able to see the picture. And that's too far. Oh my god. Okay. Are we good there? I think we're okay. No. I worked with the Tarot of the Witch's Garden and the Brigid Oracle. Let me zoom you in a small bit. Okay. And while the artwork is not... Here, let me move you a little bit closer so you can see it a bit better. Okay. I think that's a bit better. The artwork doesn't really go together. Like, let's be honest. They're nowhere near similar. But when I tell you that the readings that I got from this for my one card draws in the morning, unbelievable. It really embodies that whole femininity, the feminine energy, the feminine aspect. You know, if you're into working with that, I thoroughly enjoyed how it really see through. I mean, look at that. Magician, growth, 8 of Cups. So the messages were quite, I suppose, potent is the word that comes to mind. They were very short, sweet, to the point, and there was no messing around. It was kind of like talking to a very self-confident woman and just being like, yeah, I do personify my decks, all right. But it was just very sure and like a breath of fresh air. It was really kind of embodying that spring energy that was kind of somewhat seeping through. I do still consider February somewhat of a winter month, 100%, but I do feel that this was kind of giving that hint of spring. I was kind of ready for spring to start coming in at this stage. So I really enjoyed working with this. Again, like I said, the artwork doesn't really go, but the messages that these portray and the way it was just able to pick up exactly what I needed to hear and not what I wanted to hear was just on point, to the point where it was like, okay, you know, I hear you loud and clear. But yeah, I liked these two together. I really thought they worked well. They really complemented each other. Again, sometimes, you know, you want decks that have like that similar art style, but sometimes that's not what you need to get the messages that are coming through, like Devil, Release, 8 of Swords. I mean, that's intense, but like in the best way. Which is a very unassuming, very surprising pairing that you would never put them together in a million years. Not once would you ever put these two together, but I did because I like to live on the edge. I don't know, but it was the Starman Tarot, and you won't believe the oracle that I actually paired it with was the Tree of Life Oracle. Totally unassuming, totally not the same by any means. I mean, talk about completely on two different art styles, messages, and yet They work. Okay, so as you know, my Starman Tarot is it's the limited edition one. It's quite big. I'm so slow on whether I'm going to get the kind of just regular sized one so I can show them better, but you get the idea. When I say that these two worked together so unbelievably well, unbelievably well, like I can't even talk now. I cannot even describe the energy from these two together. Like even putting, I know this sounds so odd and maybe some of you might get it or not, but like putting these two side by side, they're just happy. They're happy to be together. It's like a match made in heaven. To say that I loved this pairing so much, I actually kept working with it for another week. Normally I rotate them every week. I couldn't part with these, and to be honest, even looking at them now, I kind of want to put away the rest of my decks and start working with these again, because I loved the messages. I love the messages from the cards, what I was intuitively picking up, what I was getting from the guidebook. They all just complemented each other so much. So ridiculously much. Now, I don't know much about the Tree of Life. It's definitely something that I want to read this year. I do actually have a book. And as you know, this kind of, I've done a walkthrough of this deck, so I'll try and remember to link it below. Unbelievably well. Seriously, I don't even, like, I mean, look how similar these even look. To an extent. I couldn't get over it. I really couldn't, because I was like looking at it going, I don't really know. I'm not sure how these are going to work. Blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I'm just like, so if you have the Starman Tarot and you have the Tree of Life, work with them. Tell me how you got on, because I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is such an unlikely pair, and they worked so beautifully together. Like, honestly, even looking at them now, I'm kind of like, ooh, will I put away the ones that I'm working with now? But no, I have to say I'm enjoying the pairing that I'm working with now, but I just loved it. It was very celestial, very higher dimension. I don't want to say it's woo-woo, it's not. It was so much more. Like, look at those two. Are you going to tell me they're not the same? Oh, stomach, really? Not now. I will have a snack after. I just love this. I love this pairing. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about it now because I have one more pairing to show you. Loved it. I loved it. And of course, I love the dragons. I'm really into dragons right now after reading Fourth Wing and stuff like that. So, here, let me show you these and then we'll get on to the last pairing. So good. I don't have any other words. So good. If you have these decks together, pair them. Let me know how you get on. Paired the Green Witch Tarot with the Rooted Woman Oracle. I don't know why I said it like that. I always feel with these kind of earthy oracle decks that the Green Witch or even Tarot of the Witch's Garden are kind of like a safe bet. And they worked absolutely beautifully together. They really blended and merged, and the messages coincided, and they brought me back down to earth after working with the Starman and the Tree of Life. Like I said, there was something very higher dimension, like ethereal, I don't know what way you want to say, a very high chakra energy. Whereas this was able to bring me back down because it's what I needed, because you can only spend so long in that high vibrational energy. You need to come back down, you need to ground. And this was just the perfect pairing to bring me back, to go, you need to plant your 2 feet back in the earth and come back to us, because while you enjoy working with the higher dimensions, you have to, you have to come back to reality. You have to be realistic. You can't stay in that, that holiday mode the whole time. And this was a great one to bring me back. And I really liked it. It was very thought-provoking and earthy, and just like this is a wonderful oracle deck, and so many of you actually have recommended the book by her. If Women Were Rooted, I think is the book. It's not here, but I definitely need to get my hands on that. Obviously, a lot of you have suggested it, so I'm going to check that out. Maybe add it to the cart. Okay, I just love that. I really, really love it. I feel like this would work very well with the Witch's Wisdom Tarot as well. So I might try that later on in the year. But this is just beautiful. Like, look at that. Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. My February, I had kind of wanted to do a whole sitting down and doing a real chit-chatty one, but to be honest, I'm kind of tired. I didn't have the best night's sleep last night, so I still wanted to do kind of like a February wrap-up and whatnot. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of these two? I'm highly impressed, and if you do work with them, please let me know. And tell me how your February was. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it in between? Was it like, I'm so glad that's gone? And are we looking forward to March? I know we're in March already, but I'm feeling excited for this year. So I am. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. I appreciate every one of you and all the comments and everything. So I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will chat to you all in the next video. Bye guys.